responsible for the sarcophagus? Yeah, I'll tell you. But don't you think it would be better to get out of here before those men come back?
I dealt with them. They won't give us any problems.
I guess if you can get all the way here, you deserve the...
Little bit pause. Well, that's odd. My Twitch says stream ended, but apparently it's not. A stupid Twitch.
Answers. But can I make one request first? After I answer your questions, you help me escape.
Sure.
All right. Where should I begin?
What can you tell me about the sarcophagus?
Let's start with the history of the Ankaran sarcophagus. That is a long and interesting legend, lost and found throughout the ages. Tell me, are you familiar with the Assyrians?
Yes.
Yeah, well, the markings on the sarcophagus seem to hint that it is from sometime between 1050 and 800 BC, which was a period of fierce expansion by the Assyrians. Oddly, for those years, only one king shows up on the historical record.
Please continue.
While most likely he wiped all evidence of his predecessor's existence or passed the name to his heirs, one monarch, Mesarach, the one-eyed king, is given credit for the territory and achievements of this time. But he would have had to have been over 250 years old, like Dracula or something.
So?
I find it hard to believe a sarcophagus with a person as important as Mesarach could remain in, pristine or intact condition for so many years, but this is who is believed to be contained within.
Are you sure?
An educated guess. Maybe you have not heard. It was stolen from the museum before we had a chance to open it. Usually we use equipment to carbon date, X-ray, and take air samples before we pry open the lid.
You compare him to a vampire. Any reason?
You know, it is interesting that you ask me that. The goddess on the outside of the sarcophagus was Lamastu. In Assyrian myth, Lamastu was an evil demoness who preyed on humans. Many people cite her as the mother of vampire myth, and...
And?
The engravings on and found around the sarcophagus portray a regal figure drinking the blood of his enemies. Now, this image is found in many cultures, specifically among those of royal lineage, but there is a quite scientific explanation.
Which is?
A disorder known as porphyria. In short, it is caused by a deficiency of the iron in the blood, and in many cultures, for the nobility that could conceivably get away with the cure, the treatment was to drink human blood.
So Mesarach drank human blood.
Perhaps. Drinking the blood of your enemies is, if nothing else, symbolic. It can inspire fear in your foes and dissidents. Don't misunderstand me. I in no way believe it was a vampire. Vampires, that's what caused this whole mess. These maniacs believe they exist.
How did you find the Ankaran sarcophagus?
That is, you see, in archaeology, one can spend years looking for a dig site, following local rumors, studying old maps. It's a complicated process, very boring.
I am interested. Please go on.
Finding and organizing a dig is the least interesting part of an archaeologist's job. Trust me, you don't want to hear about it.
Do you really believe Mesarach is inside the sarcophagus?
That I can't be sure of, nor can anyone. But I promise you it is more likely to be filled with, gummy bears, then vampires. Perhaps maybe a mummy, but not likely the kind to go about chasing Abbott and Costello.
And what else do you know about vampires?
Not much, really. I'm an archaeologist, not a mythologist. But I do know that Lamashtu, the Assyrian demoness, was thought to have been the inspiration for Lilith, the first wife of Adam in the Jewish Old Testament, another source of the vampire myth.
So how does the sarcophagus open?
Ah, quite interesting. There is a surprisingly complex mechanical lock on the face of the sarcophagus. By sheer luck, we were able to find the key not far from the sarcophagus. Why no one ever found it and robbed it, it's perplexing.
A key, of course. And do you have it?
How strange you would ask. I haven't seen the key since it was loaded onto the Elizabeth Dane in Turkey. It was stolen before the sarcophagus even. I am still hopeful that the police find both pieces before the contents can be disturbed.
Do you have a copy of the key?
No, it's not the kind of key you can copy at the hardware store. It's actually very sophisticated, and I meant to study it at the museum. I've answered all your questions. Do you think now you could please get me out of here? I don't care who you are or why you've had so many questions about the sarcophagus. I just want to leave this place.
Alright, I'll free you. And there is a boat nearby, we can escape on it.
Thank you, my friend. I don't know where you came from, but I will never forget this kindness.
No problem.
Time of judgment is here.
How this barbecue even alive? And big boom. I don't know how did he put taxi into this place? It's been blocked. Well, before I will start Istele and Endgame, I want to visit Heather and set her free.
Sandstorm activity is thought to be responsible for the destruction of two Navy fighter jets. The jets were returning from a patrol over the Persian Gulf
I
when
had
they
a dream this
disappeared off of
afternoon.
radars.
You were in it.
A transcript of
You
a
were
final
stroking
radio
my
exchange
hair,
between the pilots
telling me
mentioned
you
wind
loved
conditions
me.
picking up
And
and
then, in the
skies
next
becoming so
instant,
thick with
you
sand
were
that the sun
gone.
was being blocked.
And I was alone, and
Shortly
I
after this
cried out for
exchange,
you,
there
but you
was a
wouldn't
garbled
answer.
shout by the co-pilot, and finally, radio silence.
You're here
Military
now.
officials have dispatched several
I've
units to
never
the area
felt
to
more
search for the
relieved.
crew and the missing aircraft. The names
I'm
of the
afraid,
pilots are
Heather,
being
that
withheld until
where
their status can be
we
confirmed.
really do
Weeks
have
of
to part.
protests against the European
I can't ruin your life
rioting in
anymore.
several Eastern
But
European countries has led to a
This is
block
my
of
final
nations
request of
dropping
you.
out of the
Do as I
EU,
say.
causing
Live a long,
exchange rates
happy
the
life
euro
for
to
me.
plummet. Detractors of the
You
EU
don't
and its
mean
founding
it.
countries are holding rallies.
This
in
life is
October to
dangerous.
support
You will
from
end up
office.
dead. I won't let that happen. Go and farewell.
Stable countries will cause extended economic recession.
I'll leave.
The story of the Incarn
Okay.
sarcophagus took an even more
But
bizarre
if you ever
turn
change your
when
mind-
Professor Anders Johansson went missing from his hotel room.
Then
earlier
I'll
today.
find you, I promise.
Evidence of a struggle in the
Sure.
professor's room at the
All
Empire
right.
Hotel indicate to
Well.
investigators that Johansson was abducted. Johansson's family has received no demands yet, and there is speculation that his disappearance and the earlier theft of the Incarn sarcophagus are related. Police officials have gone on record as saying it's too early to confirm or deny any possibilities regarding this case.
So now I will save inside the Lacroix Tower and we'll continue tomorrow with the endgame and East LA. Well, first East LA and then the endgame. Well, that's all. Thank you for watching, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.